Well guys, it's that time of year again. I don't know if you can see, but my neighbor is spreading manure over there. But anyways, it is fertilizer time, and I have got fertilizer here. Where is it? Right there and right there. I got 2 full bulk bags, which that is a new thing for me this year. We'll talk about that later. But I was doing fertilizer a different way, and I think this is going to end up being a lot easier. These things are super heavy. They're 1,700 pounds a piece, and my pallet forks are 300. And I just wanted to tell y'all, give you an update on that 3-point hitch ballast we made out of that 55-gallon drum barrel. Man, that thing is amazing for picking up these 2,000-pound loads. You can move them without even being in 4-wheel drive. I mean, it just makes the tractor feel so planted. It's unreal. One of the issues is getting the stuff out of there. We'll talk about that later, but for right now, I've got them jacked up at an angle on an old pallet there, and my plan is to back up the fertilizer spreader here and kind of just shovel out and go into there. Let's take a look at the blend sheet that I've got here. If you've never seen one of these, this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can see everything pretty well, but it's an 8-acre field, acres 8. And if you saw that video I made a couple videos before this, we took soil samples and we figured out what we needed. And what we needed was 60, 40, 120. So I basically told them I want 60, 40, 120. That's what this mix is for 8 acres. And it also has 15 pounds of sulfur in it. But with all of that, comes up to 3,384 pounds, and I'm gonna be spreading it at 423 pounds per acre. Whew, that smells good. But anyways, guys, I've got a lot to do today. These 2 right here are just for the hay field. I've got another bag with the custom mix for our pasture that I'd like to get done today too, because it's gonna be raining tomorrow. I mean, this is all kind of planned out around the rain, but I gotta get this off and I gotta get my fertilizer spreader hooked up. What we've got here is we've got our bulk bag. As I said, I've never used them before, but man, they are so convenient. So the thing is how to load the fertilizer spreader, and I think I'm just gonna scoop it out of here into here. That's the plan. That's what I did when I was getting it loose on the trailer. Now obviously the scooping on the trailer was a little easier, but I think I'll perfect this over the years. If you guys have any solutions, let me know. The issue I have, there is a valve on the bottom of these, okay? And you can lift them up by the straps, put them over top of something and open that valve. Number one, my lifting tractor is this tractor. So in order to do that, I'd have to lift it with this tractor, and then I'd have to put the fertilizer spreader on our old International in there, which is fine. The issue with that is twofold. One, I can't do it anyways if I wanted to, because by the time you start lifting these bags, okay, and you take all the tension off and everything, you're not even starting to lift till 5 feet off the ground. Then you'd have to lift it another 5 feet or so to get the bottom over this. And most people aren't gonna have tractors that lift that high. Number two, even if I did that, this tractor, I have all the settings on it. So when I plug it into the GPS thing that I use, it's free and it marks lines on the field. You put how wide the fertilizer spreader throws, and I know that based on the RPM of the tractor that I run it at. So at such and such RPM, it throws 26 feet wide. I don't run it all the way wide open. It will throw like 60 feet wide. I know what speed and just everything to run this tractor to get the rate that I want, generally. And trying to do a new tractor, and that's a geared tractor and all that, I would just have to make notes on that and learn that process. But like I said, I can't really lift it over this anyways. So if you have any ideas, I did prop it up on a pallet. It's actually leaning more than you would think. I didn't want to do 2 pallets because I didn't want that thing falling off. I thought about putting like a car jack under here and raising it as I'm taking more out and tilting it. My dad's idea was build a 6x6 stand to set this on that's tall enough to where I could just back this under it and open that valve. My guess is, yeah, that's awesome. My guess is for no more than I actually have to do this, just scooping it into here, won't be that bad. And I need the exercise anyways. So yeah, this really isn't that bad at all. Let's take it up there, dump it in there. It's nice having the bag tilted a little bit. I didn't know how this would work, but honestly, it's probably a little smoother than I thought. I use this plastic scoop. I have an aluminum one I could use too, but I use that so I don't have to worry about rusting my steel shovels or anything. Plus it just gets more material. But yeah, I don't know. This really isn't that bad, guys. Now today's a Saturday, so I got kind of a lot of time. A lot of times I'm doing this after work based on it calling for rain the next day or whatever. So if I was in a hurry like that, you know, maybe this would be a little slow, but I don't see where it's that much different than scooping it off of the trailer floor loose. Plus I'll have these bags to use in the future, which I was thinking you could put leaves, you could put compost, you could put, if you had a wood chipper, I thought this, I don't have a wood chipper, but if you had one, I think these bags would be amazing to set your wood chipper chute to where it just blows right into these bags. Then you could just move them around. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna finish filling this. You can see I'm already pretty much halfway there. Well, that wasn't bad at all. It didn't take me but about 10 minutes to load that, if that, and that was going at just a normal pace, and that's not filling the scoop all the way up every single time. I think this Land Pride spreader, I weighed a 5-gallon bucket of fertilizer one time, and then I figured out how many 5-gallon buckets fit in here. And I want to say this spreader holds, let me see if I have it wrote down. I think it was 500 and like right at about 550 pounds. And this is 3,300 pounds of fertilizer, so I think that comes up to about 6 loads to do my 8 acres. But I use an app to spread fertilizer and to spray and that kind of stuff with, and it's called Agribiz Navi. So we'll click that, it comes up. I hope you can see this. Okay. And you hit start work. All right, and it's a GPS app. And then it's got my field saved in there. And then, let's see here. Okay, let's see. So what you do, I gotta relearn this every year. Okay, so my implement width is 20. Every time I put 26 feet, it goes like 3 thousandths less, kind of weird. But you put your width, which is your implement width is going to be your how far your spreader throws in this case. So you do that, and then what this does, you go to where you're going to start. You hit A, and then you go to where all the way down the field, and then you hit B, and then it'll put straight lines on your field, and then it'll paint it. You know, just like what you see in big agriculture, it'll paint it, and then you follow those straight lines and you get your field done. There's several different apps out there, guys, but I tell you, if you're not using one of these apps, and I mean, pretty much all of us have smartphones with GPS and everything now, I mean, this is just the way to go right here. Load number 2, loaded up. Takes me probably a little bit less than 10 minutes to load, and it probably takes about 10 minutes to spread this in the field. So like 20 total minutes per load. Looks like there's gonna be 3 loads per thing, which 500 pounds a load would be 5, 10, 15, 1,500 pounds, which is about right because this is 3,300 pounds total. Funny thing is, me and the neighbor's on a schedule just randomly to where when he runs out of litter to spread, because the wind's blowing my direction, when he runs out of litter to spread is about the time I'm going out in the field, so I don't have that dust coming at me. And then when I'm done spreading for another load, he's coming back to spread his load. So we're getting ready to head out with another load. I figured I would just show you real quick how this app works. Most of the time there's a glare on the screen where you can't really see it anyways. But you can see where I've went, okay? And now it's like, okay, I stopped in the middle of the field. So how do I know where I stopped at and find that exact spot to start spreading again? Well, I hope you guys can see the screen. But I'm heading out here and I'm working that direction. So if you watch this, I just come over here. I'm on the red line right now, I think. And you turn on the paint right here. So like right now I have the paint off because I'm not spreading. But you come over here, I'm on this line right here. You can see, I don't know if you can see yet on your screen, but at the top here is where I stopped. You can actually see my tire tracks out there where I stopped. So I'll keep coming down here. I'll stay on that line. All right, we're getting close. You'll probably be able to see, I hope you can see my tire tracks right up there. See where I stopped? See where I stopped on that? Dead on. This is a free app, guys. I mean, you're not gonna plant corn with it or something, but it's plenty accurate for this kind of stuff, for a hobby level. So right here was where I stopped. Boom. I'll go ahead and cut the PTO on. All right. Pull this down and we'll start spreading. One-handing it, so it'll be a little hard, but I'll try to do kind of like a perfect turn. Turns are a little hard, but you can see I'm coming up on here. I'm on the blue line. Hope you can see that. Alright. Kind of got to know how tight to turn your steering wheel. Too tight. Correct back. Right there we go. We're on course for the next round. And I hope you can hear me good, but I mean that is basically how this app works, guys. It's just lines on the field and you just pretty much drive on them. So it works awesome. It even tells you kind of got like an odometer down here where we've done 3.9 acres. We've drove 1.4 miles. You can reset that. Right now we're going 4.5 miles an hour. Yeah, just drive that and go on down the field. It's an awesome app. So if you see the shadow on there, you can see I'm close to the top but not quite. This is the third load. And it's light enough I was able to pick the bag up at this point now, and I think I'm gonna try to just like get the bag up in there and dump it, because we're down to the last little bit. Probably weighs 75 pounds or so. This ought to be comical, trying to get this upside down. Here's that valve on the bottom. Alrighty. Well, it's pretty much 3 of these fertilizer spreader loads to a bag. Now I think this bag was a tad bit heavier, maybe about 100 pounds or so than that bag. So that other bag will probably get me 2 2/3 or something of these. Quick little check-in. I got the hay field done. That's the 2 pallets. That was the hay field right there, right there. That's the 2 bulk bags. Folded them up. Sort of excited to use them in the future. Don't know what I'm going to use them for though. This is the pasture. And the pasture is only 4 acres. So, and then it's a pasture, so you're not depleting it as much. So it never needs as much per year. You can even tell it's a different color. That's because it doesn't even have any phosphorus in it, based on the soil samples. Let's go take a look at the soil sample recommendations, and as far as what the fertilizer ended up being. So you got 4 acres right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then the recommendation was 50-0-40 and 15 pounds of sulfur. So it's not even any phosphorus at all. And the whole thing is only 838 pounds. The spreader holds like 550 or so. So it'll be like a load and 2/3 or something. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Y'all don't need to watch me do that. It's more of the same of just how I pretty much did the hayfield. So I'll catch back up with y'all when I'm done. The clouds are moving in and everything. We got rain coming in. This is perfect. Well, as you can tell, it's starting to get dark. It is 7:15 in the evening. Everything went great. So I didn't start till like 1:30. So it was a little under 6 hours. I did 12 total acres. And I took my time. I took breaks and different things. The main thing is this year, using those super sacks, those bulk bags, I loved it. For probably 5 years or more, I've done the bulk fertilizer, loose on a trailer, and the co-op was an hour away, and I hauled it here and all that. And one of the things was, I asked them about bulk bags several years ago, and they said, yeah, we do it, but I swore they said $60 a bulk bag added to the price. And I said, well, I'll just continue doing the loose. And anyways, I'm a member of 2 co-ops, 2 different counties, and I called the closer county, which I buy my feed and stuff with, but I have not bought fertilizer from. And they actually have an extension right here, like in town, and like 5 minutes away. And I asked them about it, and they said, so the fertilizer mill and all that, the feed mill and everything, is probably 45 minutes away. And I called there and I said, hey, do you guys do bulk bags? They said, yeah. And I said, can you ship them to this town right here, this co-op? And they said, of course. And he starts working up the price and stuff, and he gives me the price. I told him what I need and everything, how many acres and all. I said, does that include the price of the bulk bags and like getting them down here and everything? He said, of course. Funny thing is, I don't know, you know, fertilizer is kind of a commodity, and I don't really know if it's up or down right now. But this was the cheapest fertilizer bill for this same fields that we've done, cheapest in many years, and by far the easiest. So the other one I had to drive an hour away, load it loose, put a tarp over it, put hay bales and stuff over the tarp, drive it an hour here. Then I couldn't really store it in the barn that good until I knew there was going to be a chance of rain. Whereas with these bags, I just, you know, pallet forked them into my barn until I wanted to use them. So it was just a game changer. I'm going to continue to do that. I mean, that was just amazing. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of, if you didn't know about that free app, I hope that helped you out a little bit. With that said, guys, I will put up here a video of where I used, I can't remember if it was that app or a different app, but I went into it in more detail, kind of explained how it worked. I'll put that up there. If you choose to watch that, I'll meet you over there. With that said, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.